We can't see it, but we're all trapped inside these strange repeating loops.
Thank you guys so much for hitting us with all of this nostalgia with a little bit of meta with The Matrix Resurrections. You know, what intrigued you most about the way this movie is kind of commenting on The Matrix and adding to this canon?
Yeah, I think the love story is really strong in the film, and then the cautionary aspect of what a Matrix is, and also the positive aspect, the progression of technology and artificial intelligence programs, also rebelling against a control system that they disagree with, and the synthesis of man and machine, and what that is and can be looked at. How about a few of them? Let's start with that. Just Matrix starter.
Billions of people just living out their lives.
But this is the moment for you to show us what is real.
We have re-entered the Matrix. When you first get that call from Lana and find out that you're going to be a part of this universe, was the immediate call just like a freak out, or was it like, okay, I've been preparing for this my entire career?
I was on a break from rehearsals of Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway, and I was standing on the corner of 42nd Street and 9th Avenue, and Lana FaceTimed me to tell me that I was gonna be in this new movie. And the feeling was shock and disbelief. Those were the initial feelings of like, I know that she's saying it, but I don't yet believe that it's true. And then it was excitement after that, but certainly shock was the first reaction.
Yeah, she's saying this, but am I actually in the Matrix? Could this not be real?
Exactly, exactly.
Neil, what about for you?
Yeah, I was super excited, but when I first found out, it felt as if everything slowed down in my brain. I wasn't thinking, oh my gosh, this is exciting. I was thinking, wow, this is like ellipses exciting period. Like it felt that I had to think about, wow, this is a proper commitment, like to role, to a franchise, to a chapter in your life, kind of.
And Priyanka, for you, you're channeling adult Sati. What was it about stepping into the Matrix that made you, most excited?
Actually, I hadn't dreamed about it at all because it didn't seem like a dream that was in the vicinity of my reality, I guess. Who thinks about that? That, oh yeah, a movie I watched when I was 16, I'm gonna be in a version of that. Like, you don't. So it was not a dream come true because I couldn't dream of it.
It's all about set and setting.
After our first contact went so badly, we thought elements from your past might help ease you into the present.
Nothing comforts anxiety like little nostalgia.
Well, this is hitting us with nostalgia, with a little bit of meta, it seems, from the trailers. So what intrigued you the most about entering the Matrix this way, and kind of the way it's commenting on itself, if you will? Jonathan, I'll go to you, since you play a character called Smith.
The thing that I was most excited about, intrigued by, inspired by, was getting to work with Lana. Lana and her sister were clairvoyant in so many ways with the first Matrix movie, and she's intelligent in a way that I can't even really comprehend, and I think that that's reflected in the films, but she's also a real artist, and her process was very organic and not at all heady or philosophical. When we were actually getting to the work of doing the scenes, it was really fun and really creative. So working with Lana was the thing I was most excited about.
And of course, getting a chance to scream Mr. Anderson couldn't have hurt.
Yeah, that I really, this also part of her process is that you don't rehearse really at all. She kind of just, you show up, you get on set, and she starts rolling. And so I think I screamed that only twice, and we had no practice. So it was like an total out-of-body experience.
So deja vu. And yet it's obviously all wrong.
Made you believe their world was all you deserved. But some part of you knew that was a lie. Some part of you remembered what was real.
Yahya, I'll start with you because I tried to get you in trouble. Does that mean you're playing a new character or a version of somebody that we already know in Matrix?
In the Matrix,
Yeah.
I think we're breaking up just a little bit. I can't.
Can't quite
All
hear
of a
me?
sudden, I can't hear you so well.
What was the key to building your own Morpheus for this movie?
The key was right there in the script. You know, the script was my guideline, and that told me, you know, that I was playing a character who was figuring out what it meant to have choice for the first time. You know, he was interested in his own freedom and building and recreating his identity, which is not dissimilar from the task that I had at hand. Time to fly. You know, I knew that I wasn't tasked with going in and doing an imitation of Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, and so I was creating a new character, which is the same as what Morpheus was doing. So I just really leaned into that opportunity, leaned into the style, leaned into the fashion, and took everything as really fuel to create something different, but meaningful at the same time.
The most important choice in Neo's life. It's not his to make.
I remember the first time when I met Lana and she started talking to me about Sati, and I didn't anticipate the depth of this character that meant so much to her. And she talked about strategically placing her in the previous movie, and you know, having like a foreshadowing of who she could be. And that to me was really cool and very exciting to then be able to take whatever information was in the previous one and the information in this script and sort of build a backstory and develop that character. It was a lot of fun to do that.
You seem particularly triggered right now. Can you tell me what happened?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Am I crazy?
We don't use that word in here.
And then Neil, for you as the analyst, what intrigued you the most about jumping into this movie and playing this character who seems to be giving Neo or Thomas rather trying to help him figure out his place in the world? I'll say that.
Yeah, for sure. I think I was also most excited about the fact that this wasn't just a continuation of a franchise film. That Lana had intention when she wrote the script, and the timing of it being almost 20 years after the first one, the meta connections between Matrix Resurrections and the first initial film are very specific and clear. So it didn't feel like another run around a track that's already well trodden. And I liked that it felt relevant in its own way. And getting to play someone whose job is a bit more psychological was fun to play nuance, right? As opposed to just running and shooting things.
If you want the truth, Neo, you're going to have to follow me.
Jessica, over to you. Kind of the beauty of Bugs is that, you know, Bugs is a fan of Neo. Bugs is a fan of the Matrix, like all of us. But also following in the kind of legacy of Carrie-Anne's Trinity, such a game changer for women in action. What was it like to jump into this in this totally new role?
I like that it's a new role and it's a clean slate, and I was able to really build from the ground up. But yeah, it was easy. Like you said, she's a fan of The Matrix. I'm a fan of The Matrix. She's a fan of Neo. I'm a fan of Neo. So I'm just doing my own, I'm just being myself. But I think that it's amazing what Trinity signifies in the history of female action stars and women on film. I think she was groundbreaking in the original. I think Carrie-Anne continues to push it in this film. I kind of see this whole film as a love letter to Trinity. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of that legacy.
People have described this movie as a love letter to Trinity. What has that been like for you to step back into that and to kind of know that that is the goal of this film?
Yeah, that's very moving to hear that.
Yeah, I definitely really felt how much Lana Wachowski loves Trinity and Neo. I definitely had moments where I completely felt that I was embodying Lana Wachowski's heart in the playing of this role. I always felt, even in the first three movies, that I was of service to both Lana and Lily to give them. I wanted to be of service to the script, and it was always about their vision and serving that vision. And I definitely felt the same way this time around. So
she believed in me. It's my turn to believe in her.
How quickly did you all slip back into the physicality of Neo and Trinity?
I love our training. We trained for the first Matrixes for months, and it's very bonding to do that together, to do it with Keanu and with the other actors as well. It makes this real community feeling, and you really feel like you're together going through something together. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. As soon as I stepped foot on the training center and saw Keanu, I was like, this feels so good. I'm so happy to be back.
I felt the same way. Yeah, I was really looking forward to doing it, and the experience was even more than I could have imagined.
I still know Kung Fu.